Hey guys, welcome to CBReptile.com. And I'm Dan, the Tortoise Man. I'm going to show you a few unboxing videos. Over here we have a Max Snow Leopard Gecko, and over here we have a few things that are going to go in this terrarium. So I would like to show you a little bit about how we ship them and exactly what you're going to need to house your animal once it does arrive. So I'll be right back, and we're going to open up this box first. We're going to show you the little guy, and we're going to show you exactly how to set him up in this home over here. Thanks. So, after your one-day shipping, after you buy your reptiles will come in a box similar to this one, and once you open up the box, you will see that we have an insulated cupboard for it. Now, this insulated top can be taken off, and on the inside you see that we have a heating pad. These heating pads ensure that your animal stays warm during the shipping process when it can be going into cold temperatures and even into high atmospheres, it can get very cold. So, this is a precaution that we take to ensure that your animal arrives safely. So putting this aside, we also have a little bit of paper, to make sure he doesn't get jostled around too much. This is just for added security. We put it all around. And then once you take out all of this, and as you can see, we have our Max Snow Leopard inside. Alright, so I'm going to take out the rest of this, guys, and I'll put it over here, and then take our Max Snow Leopard Gecko out and put the box aside. Now, he comes in a little dish container like this, as well as a piece of paper on the bottom to ensure that he doesn't get jostled around, and it gives him something to grip onto. They are not able to grip onto these type of plastic, so what we do with the paper towel is really for his sake and nothing else. Over here we have on the sides of them are little holes that allow the air from the holes in the box to get in, so you know he's going to be able to breathe and he's not going to suffocate. This is also to ensure that the animal is happy and healthy when he arrives. I'm going to put this bad boy aside. I'm sorry, little guy, I'm going to get you out of there really soon. And I'm going to start opening up this box in the habitat where we are going to be housing your leopard gecko once he arrives. All the things I'm about to show you can be found at CBReptile.com, and I encourage you to check out the rest of this video and see exactly what you're going to need to house this little guy and ensure that he remains happy and healthy in his new home. Alright guys, so I don't want to keep this guy in this container for any more longer than I have to, so I'm going to get right into his habitat. To set up this habitat, we're going to need a few extra things, but included in this basic starter kit, you get a tank with a removable lid, 2 light fixtures, 2 light bulbs, one for day, one for night, as well as a thermometer humidity gauge. Now these guys are super important, and this is definitely the most inexpensive way to house your animal. However, there are a few more things that you're going to need, and I'm going to go over that right now. To start with, underneath the floor mat that comes with your habitat, you're going to want to put a heating mat. The heating mat is going to be ideal for your leopard gecko if they want to choose a warmer space. They are cold-blooded creatures, so they do need a variety of temperatures. Also, I have here a reptile rock. The reptile rocks are really great for food. He eats crickets, dubia roaches, and mealworms. And when we're talking about food, you can't forget about a reptile. Reptile's great for all types of reptiles. They really need the calcium that they're not going to get through just crickets, dubia roaches, and mealworms in particular. So if you got a couple mealworms, it'd be a really great snack for them, every once in a while, to get a few mealworms, put it in this bad boy, sprinkle a little reptile on it. It's going to keep them really healthy. So put these guys aside. We also have a reptile ramp. I like the reptile ramps for water. It's a little different from the reptile rock, so it just gives you a little bit of a discernment between what you're supposed to fill up. We have a few decorations over here. We have some leaves that you can put in the bottom of the terrarium so the little guy can have somewhere to hide, as well as climb on. Some vines to make it look a little bit more authentic with the leaves. And then here we have a hide. Hides are super important. Your leopard gecko can get very skittish and can choose to hide away from the ultraviolet light that comes from your lamp, as well as the heat that comes off of your heating mat and lamp. It just gives them the ideal atmosphere to be able to pick exactly what he would like to use. Now I'm going to open up this bad boy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the tank, and then we're going to get this bad boy inside. Alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we're back, and now I've got this unboxed, I'm sure you're wondering, what are we going to do with all this stuff? I'm going to show you. First things first, I want to start off with the desert care kit. This care guide tells you exactly the temperature and the humidity that your reptile is going to need. They have a list of reptiles in the back, as well as a chart stating the amount of sunlight they need, the humidity that they need, as well as the temperature. I'll put this back aside. You just obviously choose the leopard gecko if you're using this for a leopard gecko. First things first, I want to place this bad boy. It's our heating mat. I want to place this on the bottom. This goes underneath of the actual mat that goes down That's this brown guy over here. So the plug's gonna go on the outside, and you'll still be able to shut the lid once you have this hanging out. I'm going to take our mat and put our mat down. This is going to give it a little bit more texture, and the leopard gecko, something to grab onto. Glass isn't part of their natural habitat, so they're going to be really upset if all they have to grip onto is that mat and then a bunch of glass. It also lets them be able to run after their crickets and be able to stalk their prey. Going along with that, we have our hide. Now the hide's super important, like I said, for various reasons, including temperature and being able to hide away for safety purposes if they're ever feeling a little scared or worried. So over here you want to leave a little bit around the backside so you can have your reptile be able to go around the outside, around the inside, and really just give it a place where it's not going to be caged in. Once you get your hide down, you know exactly where you're going to put it. You want to take it out and add a little bit of terrarium moss. Now, terrarium moss looks a little bit something like this. You can get it at CBReptile.com, just like everything else you see in this video. And it's super important to keep the humidity up in your tank. So the humidity is great for a couple of reasons. One, it simulates the environment a little bit better, and two, it keeps your reptile healthy in the fact that when it comes to shedding time, your reptile is going to need that extra moisture to keep the skin off of their feet. When it comes to the shedding time, they like to eat their shed, so don't be afraid if that happens. But if you don't have high humidity in your tank or high enough humidity in your tank, the shed does get stuck around their tail, can cause lack of circulation around their feet, and it can actually cause them to lose limbs. So it's super important to have a moisture hide underneath, a little bit of moisture underneath your hide. And we call that a moisture hide when they're put together. So make sure you keep that. Once you'll see that it's a little bit bristly once you first take it out of the package. So what you want to do is you want to take a little bit of water from a Dixie cup and just give it a little spray down. You know, just get it like this. If you have a mister, that works really well too. But most people just use the Dixie cups. So what you want to do after that, you want to take your hand, you just want to pat it up and down. It'll act like a sponge and really absorb all of that moisture that you need. You want to tuck this bad boy back in, and then after that, you put your Repta rock right over top of it. If you have a different hide, you can put that over top of it, but we're going to use a log right now. We're going to move on to the Repta rocks and the Repta ramp and show you exactly the rest of the way to set up this tank. Make sure you also leave that room around the backside when you put it back. Ramp, we're going to put the Repta ramp over here in the corner, and then we're going to take the Repta rock, put it next to the Repta ramp. Make sure you take the stickers off. These stickers are awesome. However, they're not going to be so perfect for our gecko. Also, make sure you don't put the reptile inside of the habitat. That's for later. Over here, we also have a few of these leaves. We're going to put these leaves in the corner. It's going to add to the hide and then make it a little bit more feasible as far as your reptile goes. So what you want to do is you want to kind of fray them out. You want to give them a little bend, and they're gonna stay exactly the shape that you want. I'm going to fan it out just a little bit and put it back over itself, and then stick this in the corner. So he can have something to climb onto and just ultimately hide this cord that I have up from the lamp. Then next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this bad boy, we're going to pop it open, and we're going to stick it right here. I'll get back to that in a little bit. I don't know if you're going to need more leaves. These are just two styles of leaves that we have. I'm going to put these bad boys over here. Vines, if you want to, trail it around the inside. These work really great. Also, we have our lid that needs to go on top. So once we do this, we put this lid like so, and as you can see, the plug has nothing to do with interrupting the lid from closing at all. It's still safely shut. And the last thing we need to do is worry about the lights. So we have two light fixtures that come in with two different light bulbs. So this is the daytime light bulb. This is going to give the UV that it really needs, and it's going to be able to survive off of this with no sunlight. So we're going to put this bad boy on top. The next thing that we have, that's going to be on during the daytime. This bad boy also, we have a black light. This is going to be a heated black light, so it's going to simulate the nighttime temperature that's going to need. And we're going to put that right next to the other one. All right, and they also come with two little clips. You can slide them on the outside, and then they have little springs on the outside, and you can clip them to the inside of the lid to make sure that your lights are nice and secure. So now that we have all this set up, I'm going to take these bad boys off. I'm going to take the lid off, and our friend is finally ready to go into his new home. So you take the lid off like so. He's so excited. Oh my gosh. We do put them a little snug inside of their containers just to avoid jostling. Come on, little guy. So I'm just going to lay him in there. And look how happy he is. Isn't that beautiful? Let's get a close up. All right, guys, so our friend is doing excellent inside of his new habitat. As you can see, he loves the shade and he loves the protection that the leaves gives, as well as the texture of the hide. That's more like his natural habitat, and I think this is going to be his spot from now on. Under here, you can see that we have a little space for him to hide. It's a little bit more shaded. However, this light is also shaded a little bit by the plants. He loves it. Over here we have our Reptar ramp and our Reptar rock. This you can fill with any of your mealworms. You can try and put some crickets out there, but I'm sure they're gonna run away. They're personally my favorite because crickets do run around and you get to watch your reptile chase them. I put a vine around the outside to add to the aesthetics of the tank, as well as a humidity thermometer gauge. This is gonna tell you exactly the temperature and humidity of your habitat to make sure that your reptile is doing happy and healthy in his home. Over here, you can fill your Reptar ramp with water. I do put these on the opposite side of the hide just to give him this area over here as a floor space for him to run around. This is for a juvenile leopard gecko. Once he gets a little bit bigger, he's going to reach about 4 or 5 inches. And at that point, he's going to need a few more gallons to run around. But until then, we have him in his perfect home. And he really is loving this habitat. Thank you very much for listening. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concern, please don't hesitate to contact us at CBReptile.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.